Hello and welcome to TEC Bike Parts again. Today we're going to be showing you how to fit our aluminium chain guard to the Royal Enfield Interceptor and Intercontinental 650 twins. The reason we made this is because the original plastic thing, it looks a bit flimsy and cheap and nasty, and also it actually ends a little bit too early at the back here. So you do tend to get a bit of grease and dirt flicked up onto the back of the bike here. So we've made a much cleaner, stronger looking chain guard out of 3mm high quality aluminium that's CNC cut and bent. These are made in the UK by us, we designed them, and they're a much cleaner, neater look on the bike than the plastic thing. We're trying to delete as much of the plastic on these bikes as possible, just to lift the standard and fit and finish on them. And I'm going to show you how to fit it now. Now what I've done, I've removed the silencer off this side. You don't need to remove the silencer to fit this. I've just done it so you can actually see a bit better what we're going to do to it. But I'll go now and we'll show you how to remove the original chain guard and fit the new one. In the kit you'll get the aluminium chain guard, and you'll also get a new set of fixings and fittings, because the original ones are not suitable for an aluminium one, because they've got shouldered bolts in, and they're designed only for use on the plastic one. So we'll show you how to fit these, and they're much easier than trying to fit the original bolts back in as well. So we've spent a bit of time trying to figure out how to make it easier to fit. So the plastic chain guard's held on by 3 Allen-headed bolts. Now these are a special bolt because they've got a shoulder on, because if they didn't, they would just crush up the plastic. So they just tighten against the plastic without crushing it. So basically all you need to do with these is remove them with an Allen key. Now these two are fairly simple here at the back, and you might wonder why you've got two fittings here, and I'll show you in a moment why you have. And you've also got another one, which is actually, it's very hard to see. I can't really show you from here, but it's over the top at the front of the chain guard. I'll show you on the new chain guard where it fits. You've got this bracket over the top, and it fits into this hole here. But like I say, we use a different system that's much easier to locate than this. So you can get that with because you can't get straight up to it, you can get it with a wobble-ended type Allen key, or you can use an Allen key socket on a ratchet and just get that over the top into it. So I'll take those 3 off now, and we'll show you what you need to do to fit the new aluminium one. What I would also mention as well, that might be worthwhile doing before you start even doing this job, is to give the bike a good degrease and clean. Otherwise it's going to be a very dirty job, because you've got a lot of chain lube around this area. So give your bike a good wash off first, or a degrease, and I'll just save you from getting too dirty. So that's the 3 shouldered bolts removed there now, and you just need to feed the chain guard out the back here. Now I've got a much larger tyre than standard on, so it's obviously a little bit more awkward, and if you can get it in and out with that tyre on, you won't have a problem with a standard tyre. And as I said, it's a bit of a flimsy lump of plastic, this. You can see why they've actually put 2 fixing points on here, because it isn't strong enough to have a single fixing point. So with the new chain guard, we only need 1 fixing, because we've actually put a bend here on the back, which makes this really strong at the back. Even though it looks really slim and neat, this bend is enough to give it lots of structural strength here at the back. And also because the way it sticks out, it catches a lot more of the dirt coming off the chain, coming straight up at the back of the bike. But what we need to do first, we've got a kit of parts here, and in the kit you've got a 6mm stud. So the stud needs to go just down here on the front part, the swinging arm where you took your bolt out from. So what I would recommend is put a drop of Loctite on that. It's not so much to stop it coming out, it's more to stop it actually corroding into the swinging arm, because it lives in a very dirty place, and if you ever want to get it out again in the future, Loctite has got a very good sealant property to it, and it stops the dirt getting into the threads and it stops corrosion. So basically you just screw that in there. You can normally screw it in by hand, no problem. If you have a problem getting it in, just put some, like I said, put some Loctite on and use a couple of nuts locked together on the top of the stud and just wind it in with a spanner. But that, just make sure it's wound in all the way it'll go into the unthreaded part, and you'll have this bit sticking up here. Now what you need to do next is you get 2 large flat washers in the kit. You need to pop those onto the stud, and that's just to spread the load out and also spread the space out the unthreaded part on the stud. But if you put it on without that, there's only a very small landing space on the actual swinging arm, and it would dig into the aluminium on the chain guard. So your 2 flat washers on first, then you feed your chain guard in, and you literally just hook the hole onto the top of the stud. Now what I normally do now is fit the bolt to the rear. Now, as you see, we only use one fixing because that's all we need. And you use your flat washer and your spring washer on there. So at the moment, just nip that up by hand. And what we need to do next is get your nylock nut and the small, and it's very important to use the small M6 flat washer. Now again, it's very difficult for me to show you, but you can get that onto the stud much easier than trying to get that bolt in. Trying to get the shouldered bolt off the original one back into that hole, even with a plastic mudguard, it is nigh on impossible with a tyre in place. You can, with a standard wheel, get your hand round from the other side and get your nut on that way, but with this way you can actually get your hand over the top. So once you've got your bolt just nipped up the back and your nut on, you just basically get a socket on the top of the nut and wind it up until it's tight. And there we go. So that's all nipped up and that's ready to go there. So that's it all on the bike there now. And like I say, I hope you agree, it's a much neater part than the original plastic part. We're going to work our way right through the bike, replacing all parts that we think look a bit cheap and flimsy and don't really do the bike justice. We're doing a video soon on our new kit for the rear lights that includes all the wiring and the lights, E-marked indicators, and an LED stop and tail light with a number plate light in it. As you can see, it fits much nicer. If you watch our other videos, you'll see how to fit all the other parts that we make, like levers and mirrors and sump guard. We're due to have a new 2-to-1 full stainless exhaust system in soon. We've got the stainless silencers we do, and we also do the silencers in chrome and in matte black. We will be making a kit for a short seat and rack very soon. That's just in the final stages of production, and there's a lot more parts in the pipeline coming very soon. I mean, there's a lot of people who love this bike. We love it. It's a lovely little bike to ride. I can't really put my finger on what it is, but it's just one of those bikes that actually puts a smile on your face when you ride it. And I haven't been off it this summer, basically. Oh, another thing, we've been working on a booster plug kit for this bike to richen them up a little bit at the bottom end, because like all Euro 4 bikes, they're a little bit hesitant on the throttle when you come back onto the throttle and at low revs. So I've had a development one on this bike since about May, and I've done a lot of road testing and dyno testing on it, and we've fine-tuned it, and it works really, really well. You can really feel a difference, especially with the DNA filter and the silencers. When you basically crack on the throttle and accelerate, it really picks up really well with it. They're in the final stages of production. We did, from a contact we have at the factory in India, managed to get some of the original plugs where they plug into the harness, because they were different to anything else. Now we've shipped those off to Booster Plug in Denmark, and they are making a kit with a specially made plug that just plugs straight into the harness. That's what's caused the delay on it. Those plugs are ready now, and the plug kits are getting produced, and we should have them in a week or two. So keep an eye on the website for that. We'll do a separate fitting video on that. It's fairly straightforward, only takes a couple of minutes. Doesn't give you a huge amount of power, but what it does do, because it richens the mixture lower down, it just makes the bike crisper, much more responsive. I mean, there's tons been written about booster plugs all over the web. They're generally a very well respected way of getting around the Euro 4 leanness and lumpiness on bikes. But they will be available very soon. Like I say, we've been working very closely with Jens at Booster Plug on that. Okay, keep me posted. Thanks for watching. See you soon.